Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Origin Palkia with its new buffed Aqua Tail in the Master League. We're going to be using Excadrill Shadow alongside it the entire time. We're going to use Zygarde here and then swap it out for Mewtwo in a little bit. Unfortunately, my Origin Palkia is not 100, 15, 14, 15, but essentially that's good enough, right? I'm not going to wait around for it to return to get 100, and I'm not going to sit here doing trades. So here we are, and it is Best Buddy, so it's actually very good, all right? So as far as Shadow Excadrill, I did go with that lower attack, not intentionally. This was just the best one that I can get at the moment, and I'm a little impatient, so I just powered this thing up, and it was expensive around, plus the secondary move, almost like, it's over like a 500,000 Stardust. It's insane. Absolutely worth every bit of dust that I spent on it, though. This could very well be an Excadrill video, as you're going to see here. But anyways, on to Palkia's with its Aqua Tail. It has been buffed, and yeah, you're going to be getting stabbed from it. And this thing is absolutely incredible. If you're not a fan of what it looks like, you got to put that aside. If you rate it enough, it's absolutely worth powering it up if you do have a good one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and swap into our Excadrill here and farm them down. And they do have a Metagross, and we've already got all this energy built up. So yeah, Shadow Excadrill, come this Team Rocket event where you can TM away frustration. If you have a good Drillbur, or maybe even an Excadrill that you evolved, remove frustration immediately. Immediately. This thing is, oh my goodness. If you have like 100 or a 98 of this, you know, just know you have some absolute gold right there. All right, we have Mewtwo on the team. Looks like Zygarde is out for the count. You know, it's good and all. It's great. There's really nothing to it. I just wanted to try something else out. Actually, technically what it was is we do have 2 dragons, and we can get pretty screwed if we do have a fairy lead, and they were starting to throw the fairies at me. So instead of complaining about the algorithm, I'm just going to switch it, and we're just going to go on with our lives. All right, so we did take out that Dialga there, and they're bringing in a Chandelure, and we're able to get to the drill run before they absolutely annihilate us here, if I can speak. So what I think I want to do is bring in the Mewtwo to have them start using up that energy. So more than likely, they're going to go for a Flame Charge here, and we're going to be able to make it to the Psy Strike, which should be enough to take them out. I don't need to get to the Shadow Ball. Chandelure is very classy. Oh yeah, that would have been easily enough. So we swap into our Palkia here. I'm going to shield this up. Unfortunately, it is a Flame Charge, magically resisted, but I didn't want to risk getting hit by a Shadow Ball buffed by a very high attack Chandelure. And then they do back out after they get one shield there. Next game, we're going to be met with a Tyranitar. This one really kind of annoyed me. I was like, oh yeah, Tyranitar lead with my Mewtwo. Okay, yeah. All right, so we swap into our Dialga here, or Palkia, and we're getting a shield after we do build up to Special Rend. Now, really quick, I'm going to step away from the commentary because I know this is a concern for a lot of people, actually. I've seen it on Twitter as well as on my video comments. So if you do not have Special Rend, is it worth powering up if you have 100? I would wait. I would wait. Just, I'm sure they're going to have an event where they're going to say, okay, you can use Elite TM to get these moves for this time period to this time period. So that might happen, or they might return, or you can trade, but you need the special move. If we want to just ride on, you know, banking on the fact that they're going to maybe allow us to use an Elite TM, and you have 100, I would say, without Special Rend, I would say, I guess go ahead and do it, because it technically is still pretty good, even without Special Rend. So, I don't know. I don't want to make you power up something and something happens down the line where it doesn't actually allow us to. So, the choice is yours, but you kind of want the signature move. So best bet is to probably trade somebody at this point, right? So Excadrill, little Excadrill, taking out giants and absolute monsters and gods over here. Fictional ones, of course. Okay, so look at that. Look at that little thing. Next game, we're met with a Dialga Shiny. I'm not going to say I'm jealous, but I really wanted that. I really wanted that, and I rated pretty hard, and I didn't get it. I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's okay. So they're going to be retreating with energy and bringing in their Gyarados. We're going to go ahead and swap into the Mewtwo, go for that Psy Strike, bring in our Palkia, and we're going to go ahead and let this go and farm them down here. Oh yeah, massively resisted Aqua Tail, taking a decent amount from their Dragon Breath, but that's okay. We still got plenty of energy here, and they're bringing in a Metagross. I can already see where this is going, and you're going to see how much this Palkia is going to run over this Metagross here. Absolutely a boss. This thing is so good. You know, I actually just like the design now because it's so good. It's been so good to me. And I'm like, you know, it looked dumb before, but now it's awesome. Now you're awesome. So we swap into the Mewtwo, almost getting to the Side Strike here. We still do have 2 shields, and we're going to let this go because, yet again, we're going to put all of our hope into, well, not all of our hope. The setup is, what we need to do is farm down the Dialga here. Double shield, they realized it, and then they back out. So basically, we would have double shield, farmed up to 2 drill runs, double hit, take him out. Next game, we're met with a Dragonite. You're going to see this reoccurring quite a bit here for the Dragonites, and it's a good matchup. Mewtwo's just really amazing. So remember, we are going to be getting it back as well in the raids for a day. I forgot what the exact date was, but don't worry, I'll be coming out with another video going over it in more detail and whatnot. Shadow Mewtwo, Shiny Shadow Mewtwo. What do you want to power up, regular Mewtwo or Shadow? Personally, I have a level 40 Mewtwo Shadow, and then of course I have this one, which is a 98, and then I have 100. I got the 100 6 years after the fact that it came out. If you get enough candies for both, then you know, power them both up, obviously, but you have to remember about their mega forms, okay? So we won't get too deep into that. Just a little food for thought, okay? Shadow Mewtwo is an absolute monster, though, if you plan on spending another $200, okay? All right, so what do we have here? Mewtwo, we'll let this go. Side Strike, not very effective. Yes, Shadow Excadrill is one of the hardest hitting Pokemon, and spammiest too at that. That's what it's best at here, but it really can't take a hit. So we're going to go ahead and shield this up. It's getting pretty close. We're getting to the next drill run. Just what we needed to do here. Folks, what's going to happen? We take the win. That's what's going to happen. Excadrill always putting in that work for us at the end with the sweep. These steel types are everywhere, so it's just very good here. All right, next game, we do have a Metagross. And this is still fine. Shadow Ball is amazing. And we do have a catcher. They just caught the Shadow Ball here. And what was that? A Dragonite. Still doing a good amount of damage. And we're actually going to be able to Dragon Breath them down before they get to the Dragon Claw. That's bad for them. Honestly, I don't even think there's any recovering this. It's not their fault. It's just the way it goes. Again, the way the cookie crumbles. Okay. All right, we'll let that go. Not very effective Meteor Mash, and we're just going to go to town. I do believe I actually get to another Aqua Tail here. So they shield that up, and then we get to another one because we're water type, right? And it's pretty bulky as well. And man, this is why I went for Palkia. Dialga's good too. Let's not get it all, you know, messed up. Dialga's origin, I should say, is absolutely amazing. I just prefer this. And I didn't get a good one, and I'm not powering one up and wasting my candy like that. All right, so we do have a Dialga here, and they're shieldless. Getting to a charge move, I had to gamble here. Shielding it up, Shadow Ball, beautiful. So since they used up all their energy, we're going to build up just a little bit more with the Excadrill, but they backed out as I seen all my tasks update there, so we don't even need to hit those bubbles, and we take the win with, yet again, Excadrill. Drilling them all, 5-0, folks. Yeah, Master League is my favorite place. Ultra League is, it's close second, but just Master League is just really fun. Again, because it's very condensed as far as the meta is concerned. And I just personally prefer that. Okay, so Dragonite's going to be letting that go there. It does look like they do have Steel Wing, which could be very interesting going up against a Fairy, as it is going to be super effective. But for everything else, it's not so good. Not saying you shouldn't try it, though. We have a Gengar in the Master League. Well, this person is going pretty spicy here. You have to admit, you know, when somebody's having a little fun, bringing Gengar into the Master League is a very brave thing to do. But I'm sure it can do some pretty big damage, as you can see here, letting that Shadow Ball go, and it's bringing us down into the red. We're going to go ahead and throw an Aqua Tail onto that Togekiss to kind of just do a little bit of chip damage, because one Rock Slide's not going to be enough to take them out from Excadrill here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, you probably just want to go with Drill Run Rock Slide, but another thing you can do is Iron Head, but at the same time, might as well hit the Fairy with the Drill Run. All right, so yeah, probably just stick to the standard moves there, but for Spice, Iron Head, I guess. All right, next game, what do we have? Mewtwo into Avalugg. Okay, well, perfect. It's not perfect, but we'll take it, I suppose. Palkia is not weak to ice necessarily because it's part water, although it's still going to be taking a lot. As far as Excadrill, it's part ground, so you already know what it is. It's going to be taking a lot of damage anyways because it's Shadow and Excadrill. All right, so they shielded up the first Side Strike here, lowered my attack, and we're going for it. Man, you know, this is something that I do not have enough XL candies to make quite yet, and it's very good as a matter of fact. And that was a shiny one too, right? So It's crazy, right? I live in Alaska and I don't even have enough. So they catch a Psystrike with their Mewtwo. Okay, very nice. Very nice. So we're going to bring in our Excadrill and immediately take them out. So that Psystrike was going to be able to give us just enough to be able to one-shot them there. And they're bringing it in and Annihilate. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Drill Run here. This is going to do a lot of damage, and we're looking pretty good. Annihilate is just amazing. It's one of these things that just took the Go Battle League by storm. It's meta in the Great League. It actually shifted a lot of the Pokemon for you to not be able to use, specifically Medicham. It was already fallen off, but now it's just like all the way in the dumpster now. And then in the Ultra League, great, and then even in the Master League, okay, because it has that counter move, and its stats are amazing, basically. All right, so we're going to go ahead and farm them down and get to a double Aqua Tail. Now, they did lower my attack, but that's okay. That's all right, and I do believe this will be enough to take them out, if not just one more Dragon Breath. Oh yeah, and we take the win there with our Palkia. Let's go, and holding on to one shield there. Next game, what are we going to see? A Zamazenta? Is that what yeah, there we go. This is an interesting one here. This is another Pokemon I never got a good IV in, and I never really rated too much. Nothing against it. I would love to have 100 and power it up, but times have changed. You know, I can't just remote raid all day. And even if I could, I don't know. There's got to be a point where you say, you know, enough is enough. How am I going to max out every single Pokemon? Anyways, we are seeing them catch a Psystrike with their Mewtwo, which another good catcher over here. See, people are getting really good at this game. So this is why it's just progressively getting more difficult to rise up and actually hit Legend, on top of other various things like cheating and whatnot, but let's not get negative here. So they're bringing back their Zamazenta, and we're going to see them throw a charge move here. So Crunch is giving it a bit of an edge. They had a pretty bad lead there with our Mewtwo, so let's see if they're going to be able to make a comeback here at this point. So we're going to let this go. Crunch is going to do quite a bit. They're going to be swapping, and they do have a Zacian. So they've got the duo here. Very cool. Very cool. That's awesome. It took me for a while to get a good Zacian, and I think even mine now is still mediocre. All right, so we're going to let that go. I was going to call that play rough because they actually have wild charge, as you're going to see here. But my thought was they're not going to go close combat. They don't want to lower their defense quite yet. So there it is. They go for a wild charge because it costs less energy. Now, folks, this is why you don't top left. I almost did. I was like, it's over. This garbage game. I mean, he had a bad lead. He still beat me. Oh, come on. But he caught and everything. But check it out. Yo, Psycho cut down for the win with 1 HP. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Good game. My gosh. All right, next game we have a shiny Origin Dialga turquoise. It's just a very clean shiny. But again, I just can't get over their designs. They're kind of sticking on me a little bit, but golly. Could have done a little better, guys. All right. Anyway, so Sight striking them, getting that shield, knowing that they don't want to go down by Shadow Ball, but they, still shielded it up. So we're up a shield. We're going to go ahead and bring in the Excadrill and throw this Drill Run immediately. I was worried about them potentially catching, but we're actually able to throw before they get to their charge move, which is great. Now we're up here, and they do have a Shadow Guard Chomp with a Mud Slap. So we have to look out for that because it's doing quite a bit of damage. So we're going to go ahead and swap into our Palkia here and shield this up. It's either Earth Power or Outrage. And they do have a Ho-Oh in the back end. Well, Origin Palkia just completely stomps it. Regular Palkia completely stomps it, so that was a wrap. Next game, we have another Dragonite in the lead here with another Wing Attack. Or Still Wing. All right. I'm going to go for that Side Strike, of course. Of course. And we got to another Side Strike. We just have to wait for this here, and we can tap it immediately. Bam. Let's go. We snuck that one through. I wouldn't really call it a sneak. And we're getting bold shields out of them. Fan-freaking-tastic. So at this point, this is not enough to take us out, and we will be able to get off a Side Strike here. Let's see what happens. It's not going to be enough, and they're going to be able to... Oh, they catch with a Lugia. Okay, that's what they do. All right. Man, everybody's catching today. Let's go. All right. So they're locking themselves in here with a Lugia. So we're going to immediately start hitting that Rock Slide. It would have taken 3, but now it's going to take 2 and about 5 or 6 quick moves. Which is going to be just absolutely fantastic because, well, we have a lot of energy now. Well, we have a decent amount. We're almost to the Drill Run and Rock Slide. Let's see what happens. Plus, we have a shield and they have 0. but they're getting my last shield right here. Now, even a Dragon Claw probably would have been enough, so we're shielding it up, and I'm not risking it. They bring in a Dialga. This is essentially going to one-shot, so what we're going to do is swap into the Origin Palkia, farm them down, and get to the Spatial Rend up against this Dragonite here, and that is going to be a wrap for this guy, or gal. Let's go. I just, this Pokemon is very satisfying to use. Actually, more so Excadrill. Honestly, Excadrill is just nuts. All right, so we have a Rhyperior here. We're going to go ahead and throw the Scythe Strike immediately. Breaking Swipe, Rock Wrecker, usually what they are going to be rocking on the Rhyperiors, is actually pretty good. The only problem is when I use it, all I see is Kyogres, and then when I take it off, they're gone. And you know, it's funny too, I'll see like a Kyogre and a Zarude. I'm like, come on, really? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so we shielded up a Rock Wrecker, which is great. They go for a Breaking Swipe here. And remember, it doesn't guarantee to lower the attack anymore. I feel like they didn't really need to do that. All right, I feel like I know some Pokemon were kind of broken feeling, but whatever. Going for the Rock Slide. And let's see what happens here. I think we're going to let this go, and it is going to be an Aeroblast. Yeah, that's going to hurt quite a bit. But we're still getting to the Rock Slide here. And not enough. We immediately swap, farming them down. What you got in the back? It is going to be a Ho-Oh. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. But they're going to stick around. That's okay. Let's go. Going for that Aqua Tail. I went for Spatial Rend probably about, let's see, 3 times today on all of my battles. So I did bank one, so I have extra tomorrow. And yeah, but Palkia, folks, that's where it's at. Shout out Excadrill if you find yourself a good one. Is it worth powering up? Yeah, 1000%. It's like one of the best ground type attackers right behind Primal Groudon. And well, we're going to be getting Shadow Groudon soon, so that's going to be another competition for the top ground type attackers. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's still going to be amazing for raids as a ground type attacker. And then in the Master League, I've used it in the Great League and swept the heck up. In the Ultra League, sweeping up. And in the Master League, it's good everywhere. Period. Just have to learn that to control the shields and positions correctly because it can't take a hit. All right, enough about the Excadrill here. Taking out this Buzzwole, we have used both shields on both ends. And we did swipe. If you're thinking, what are you doing? I know I kind of screwed up here. I should have just built up to Shadow Ball. I totally would have made it. But I wouldn't say I panicked, but we'll just go ahead and do this here. That's fine. So they're hitting me with a triple axle. They raised their attack. We're going to bring in the Excadrill at this point. Not going to be able to farm them down, but they immediately swap into a Mamoswine. Now I go Rock Slide. You just go Drill Run, okay? That was just a weird thing to do. Still doing a lot of damage, but I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so bringing in the Mewtwo here, we're going to get hit by an Avalanche. They actually under-tap that so they can get a little bit more farm, which is very smart. That's what you want to do. And we're going to throw this immediately. I couldn't believe it. Let's go. Come on, Excadrill. Are you doing it again for us, buddy? I think it is. All right, and we're going to get to that Drill Run, and there you have it, folks. Shout out Excadrill and buffed Aqua Tail, Origin Palkia. Absolutely amazing. And they backed out. Let's go. Thank you for watching, folks. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I really do appreciate it. So let's go. Yes, my elo is low. I don't really care. Having fun. Take care.
Hey! So you're finally here! Fantastic!